tonight in the Cream City and the Big East opener for both Creighton and the Marquette Golden Eagles. Welcome to Five-Serve Forum, where finals is now done for these Marquette students, so you know they are ready to bring the energy. Happy you could join us. I like to always say flying with the flying Illini here. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington, and Stephen. A lot of excitement here in the opener for both of these teams. They're kind of going in different directions coming into tonight, but let's be honest, both Marquette and Creighton have shown that they can make some noise here in the Big East this year.
Oh, definitely. Both upper echelon teams, Lisa. You're talking about Creighton first, one of the premier teams in college basketball. Don't be fooled by the 5 straight losses. They're without key personnel. They have not been blown out of any game this season. On the other side, Marquette is young. They've had some success. Let's see how they handle it against this very, very talented Creighton squad.
Time to get that tip going here, but first our starting lineups, and it's brought to you by Jeep. There's only one. It is a young Marquette Golden Eagle lineup. They have not changed their starting lineup all year, including here tonight. They are young by year, and they are young by games played in their career. Now for Creighton, Stephen, you had mentioned that they're playing a little bit shorthanded. Ryan Kalkbrenner will be out again tonight, scratch, so that means you see the freshman there, Frederick King, will get his 3rd career start this evening. He started against BYU and Arizona State. You see Kalkbrenner sitting on the sideline. He leads the NCAA in terms of field goal percentage this year. The 3rd straight game he'll sit out. What does that mean? They also lose their leading scorer, their 2nd leading rebounder, and their shot blocker.
And their defensive anchor in terms of all the defensive calls on the back line. Kalkbrenner is responsible for.
The tip goes to Marquette. Mike Roberts, Tony Chiazza, and Doug Shows are your officials here tonight from Five-Serve Forum. This Marquette-friendly crowd will stand, but they didn't have to stand for long. They stand for the first bucket. And Iguodaro gets it here for Marquette.
You see Marquette will be, they won't press every time, Lisa, but they like to mix it up. They'll try to keep Creighton off balance, but Creighton, one of the better teams in the country, at taking care of the basketball.
Trey Alexander with 7 seconds here to shoot. Looking for something. The tip back to Alexander. Somebody's got to put it up. Alexander forced to do that. It's an air ball. A shot clock violation, and the tough defense by Marquette, in particular at the end of that possession by Stevie Mitchell.
Great job. And Marquette as a team, and you see Coach McDermott there from Creighton, Greg McDermott.
900th career game as a college head coach. We asked him at shoot around, do you remember game number 1? And he does. Coaching Division II, Wayne State against York College. He won by 99 points in that game.
Oh, and the story was great, too.
Iguodaro with the hook shot and the miss. And another possession and opportunity here for Creighton, coming in with a 6-5 overall record. Stephen, you mentioned they have dropped the last 5 straight. They opened up the season winning the first 6. So certainly an up and down start to the season for them, and a flush with authority for the freshman, Frederick King.
Frederick King is coming on, only his 3rd start in his career. Played very well, the double-double against Arizona State in the last game. But he's no Ryan Kalkbrenner, I'll tell you that.
Olivier Maxence Prosper falling down and knocks down the 3-point shot.
Omax is playing with tremendous confidence. And when he hits that 3, he's so long, Lisa, can get to the rim and will.
Just his 11th 3-point make here of the season. They give it back to Prosper.
Now you'll notice how both of these teams are 2 of the better teams in the Big East in terms of spacing the floor on the offensive end.
And they will certainly put up some 3-point attempts. Both of them average about 26 or 27 3-point attempts per game.
Well, so if you like offense, you tune into the right game.
Shireman gives it up. Baylor Shireman, who is the transfer from South Dakota State. And Arthur Kaluma. Boy, he was tough in Las Vegas coming off a weekend, and he gets his first 2 points.
Great job by Kaluma using that shoulder against Prosper, create just enough space.
Kaluma, the 2nd leading scorer for this Creighton team here this year. Prosper can't get his 2nd attempt to fall. It'll stay Creighton basketball. Well, it's a 900th career game for Greg McDermott. This could be the 300th career win tonight for Shaka Smart. 14th season overall, his second year at Marquette. And talking to him at shoot-around, he felt like with his 8-3 overall record in a young team, his offense, he says, is ahead of the defense at this point.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, you know, in terms of college basketball, because Marquette's not bad defensively, but, you know, coaches like to nitpick, because I think these Golden Eagles are really good on the defensive end. Just ask the Baylor Bears.
they beat by 26 points and really opened the eyes, you could argue, with everyone across the country about this Marquette basketball team. Jones gets it swatted that time as King came over to clean it up.
I'm telling you, Frederick King is getting more confident each minute that he plays.
Officials will talk about it. Doug Shows and Mike Roberts on whose possession it will be. It'll stay here.
Greg McDermott's going to want an explanation on that.
David Joplin will check in for the first time. Greg McDermott talked about that 5-game losing skid. He said these kids are resilient, and probably a little bit more resilient than the coaching staff in terms of trying to turn the page. And for Creighton, what better time to do it than in the opener, the Big East Conference opener.
Oh, Frederick King is initiating the fast break. What a luxury for Creighton.
And King finding Shireman for the lay-in.
Lisa, you were talking about what McDermott was saying about the losses. Nice job there by Marquette. I was laughing because I'm thinking of my era of basketball. I lose 5 straight. I'm trying to fight somebody in the locker room. But he's saying these guys are used to playing so many games in the AAU system that those losses don't affect them quite the way that they would us. So I thought that was a really good explanation of the way the game is now.
Shireman off the 1 foot and gives Creighton the 1-point edge.
And I probably just aged myself there, but, you know, that's okay.
No, you're good. Prosper gets turned away. And Sebo pass. Iguodaro has had his chances here. And Nembhard. It's an 8-7 advantage here for Creighton.
And we knew we'd have an offensive output tonight on both sides. Kaluma with the shoulder to create the space. And then on the other side, nice job, Iguodaro at the rim.
There's only one. Our first media timeout in the Big East opener between Creighton and Marquette. 8-7 your score. It's a series that goes way back multiple times, but the last 8 meetings really has been dominated by Creighton. A 7-1 overall record in the last 8. Marquette won in 2020 and really have dominated here. A 4-game losing streak against Creighton. They've won all of the games here at Fiserv Forum, which is not an easy thing to do in this kind of building here for Marquette. The first meeting you see there back in 1923. Marquette does lead the overall series, but Creighton going for 5 straight here tonight.
And that's really difficult to do when you have that kind of winning streak against an in-conference opponent, especially on the road. So showing that the Blue Jays have been really good here in the last 5, well, longer than that, but in terms of this rivalry here, they've done very well in this building.
3 different players have scored for Creighton. A couple different players here for Marquette.
Shireman has got an uncanny ability to get to the paint.
And open look for David Joplin. That's what he can do. 46% three-point shooter coming into tonight, and he hits three-pointer number 24 on the year.
I'm telling you, every time Joplin lets the ball go, it looks like it's going in. He's so confident. Not a lot of wasted motion on that release.
Nembhard takes the triple try. Ryan Nembhard, the sophomore point guard, the Big East freshman of the year last year.
That's big for Creighton. Talking about Nembhard, who doesn't shoot the 3 a lot and doesn't shoot it at a high clip. But on the road to get started like that is excellent.
Kolak's first points.
Tyler turns down a lot of shots. One of the assist leaders, not only in the Big East, but in the country. Would prefer to pass first, but I think sometimes he hurts his team when he doesn't take shots that are there.
Well, he's worked on adjusting on that shot here in the offseason. Shireman tries to muscle it through. It's Prosper who chases it down. Prosper with 5 points here so far to lead Marquette. Finding a cutting Kolek. Can't get it on the right side.
Kolek was concerned with that anticipated contact and lost his focus.
Nembhard throws it away. Here's on the push, a transition look. Marquette wants to go. They want to push some pace. And Joplin leaves it short.
Good defense by Trey Alexander.
A one-handed pass over to King. Another assist for Nembhard.
Well, Creighton can fly up the court. When they are hitting on all cylinders, they can score as quickly on a make or miss as anyone in this conference.
King with a couple of dunks. His only 2 shots here of the night. Coming off of a 16-point, 11-rebound performance against Arizona State.
I know Coach McDermott is not pleased with that shot right there. Too early in the shot clock. Oh, my goodness.
Kolek won't get the call. He went down to the deck and leads to a transition break as Kaluma flushes it home.
Oh, Creighton doing a great job of turning defense into offense quickly. Marquette having a problem getting back defensively. Kolek goes to the hole like that. Jones and Joplin have to rotate and be the safety.
Open look there for Joplin. And misses poorly, and another leak out. Marquette's got to figure that out. A foul committed. Oh, Frederick King getting another start, has a couple of dunks here to begin with.
Oh, great one-handed feed from Nembhard. And King being rewarded for running the floor. And then you see Kaluma doing the exact same thing, getting behind the Marquette defense.
Arthur Kaluma to the free throw line. I mentioned the weekend that he had in Vegas. Well, you see his season averages coming off a 15-point performance against Arizona State. Also had a career-high game against BYU. The 27 points, 26 minutes. Got into some foul trouble that game.
Well, without Ryan Kalkbrenner, you know, Kaluma, Shireman, they have to step up. Nembhard need to step up and be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end.
Makes good on the second.
Kaluma's got a nice start to this game.
Creighton's on a 6-0 run here tonight. But speaking of streaks, we mentioned the first 6 versus the last 5. Now, those last 5 have been without their leading scorer, Ryan Kalkbrenner. Certainly a tale of 2 seasons to begin with here for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and see that. I don't want people to think that Creighton was not in those games that they lost. They were in every single one of them.
Both of these teams have lost some close games. The 5 losses here for Creighton and the 3 losses to Marquette in their season.
Well, Marquette was up on the they weren't number 1 at the time, but they were at Purdue up 9 in the second half. Even though they didn't close that one out, it should have given them a tremendous amount of confidence.
Iguodaro rips down the rebound. Gives it up to Jones. Cam Jones, the Big East Player of the Week. Gives it right back up to Joplin, who's challenged by Kaluma, who will pick up the personal. It's Kaluma's first.
Well, Frederick King is trying to fill in some big shoes from Ryan Kalkbrenner. I tell you what, though, he's running the floor with a passion here early.
Jones was just named this week the Big East Player of the Week on Monday, the first honor of his career. So we digest into the profile of Cam Jones. How about the last 4 games? Look at his numbers versus the first 7. He's a sophomore now, right? So he has that freshman experience, some game experience. How about 3 20 or more point games in the last 4? He had 0 in his first 38 career games. So when Shaka Smart tells us it's shoot-around, that he's feeling a lot more comfortable, the numbers speak to that as well.
Yeah, no, he's doing a fantastic job, and it's not reflective early in this game. He's 0-2 from the field. He has picked up 2 rebounds, but he's a guy that I like the way he lets the game come to him, Lisa. He doesn't really force the issue, and so he'll get into the flow of the game at some point, but he's been outstanding here recently.
We highlighted his scoring, but maybe more impressive when he puts in 35 minutes in a win at Notre Dame and poured in 25 points, but he had 0 turnovers in that game as well. And his assist-to-turnover ratio, fairly impressive as well here to begin with. Those are much-needed free throws here for the Golden Eagles. Marquette scoreless in the last 2 minutes and 52 seconds going into those Joplin offerings.
Yeah, only 5 of 18 from the field, so they're getting looks, but they're not converting. And the deflection numbers are I believe they were at 8 at the halftime break. They want to get 32 for the game, so I'm sure Shaka wants to see them get a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end.
Sharif Mitchell has checked in here for Creighton. Francisco Farabello as well for the Blue Jays. In their first minute, 7 seconds on the shot clock. And between the legs dribble for Alexander. Such a smooth move.
Tell you what, that nice length and 6'4" on the perimeter allows him to get over the top of the defender.
Iguodaro with the back down, left-handed hook shot. He's got the right. We've seen a right-handed hook and a left-handed hook already tonight.
Lisa, I think he has the highest IQ of basketball IQ of any player in the Big East. I'm telling you, he's one of the most communicative bigs I've seen in years. Does an excellent job on both ends of the floor.
Coming off a double-double against Notre Dame, 16 points, 18 rebounds. Shireman behind the back look, frees himself up to do that.
See, that's going to be a tough cover for Gold because Shireman likes to go in the paint, but he's as comfortable on the perimeter as well.
First three-point make. 7 points now for Shireman. And the answer, how about it? Ben Gold, who came into tonight 3 of 17 from three-point territory.
I see you, big fella. Giving Shireman a little bit of his own medicine there. Nice back tap there by Cam Jones.
Iguodaro directing traffic. Also, Iguodaro giving it up to Joplin again, who takes it inside. Alexander was waiting. Marquette retains. It's a triple try off the 1 foot, and the lefty is smooth for Cam Jones.
That's a great break for Marquette. That kick out, the offensive rebound. Oh, didn't get
it. The rejection, and here comes Marquette. Getting this crowd at 5-4 minute, but they turn it over. Looking for the back door.
Well, you see this Golden Eagles team. When offensive rebound, Lisa, you've heard me say this 100 times. That's the best time to shoot a 3, and Ben Gold being active on the defensive end. Nice block and keeping it inbound.
And his parents in town for that big Baylor win. New Zealand native, that was a big deal here for him. And he played well in that game. Gold gets subbed out.
I know one of the things Marquette would like to do is get into the legs of Creighton. Creighton doesn't play with a great deal of depth. Really 7 deep for the most part. And so Marquette try to turn up the pressure when it's advantageous.
And you see it, Jones on Mitchell. They'll apply it 3/4 length and full court. Nembhard trying to reset here for Creighton. Now single digits on the timer. Nembhard between the legs. A couple of moves against Kolek. And Creighton trying to chase it down. And Kolek retains here for the Golden Eagles. Jones out to Joplin. That's his shot. That's his spot, and that's his shot.
That's right, Lisa. I'm going to tell you something. Cam Jones made a great play. I thought he was going to try to force it in the paint. He saw Joplin out of the corner of his eye, hit him for the catch-and-shoot 3. That's really good playmaking.
Joplin's second three-point make and part of a 9-0 Marquette run. Now remember, they were approaching about a 3-minute scoring drought, and boy, have they responded now to take the lead, 25-22. Pump fake for Mitchell. Scoop shot, not there. Offensive rebound by King with the putback, and the freshman is showing something a little bit.
He's dunking everything in sight. I love it. Being aggressive at the 10.
Making his Big East debut here tonight. Jones off the mark from the left side. He hit that other three-pointer from the right side of the wing. And an offensive foul. Sharif Mitchell kind of leaned in a little bit too much. That's number 1 on Mitchell.
Well, Marquette, slow to start on the offensive end, but they have found Joplin at the 3 a couple times. And the big fella from the Bahamas, bring it home, big fella. I see you.
Believe that the final's already here.
Yeah, I know, right? And had an upstart in Morocco, was trying to break through, but France put the hammer down in the semifinals.
France is tough to beat.
Yes, they are.
Tune in to Fox early. You know, you got to kind of reset maybe your sports watching like throughout the week, right? With some
you just got to pregame early.
Day football, if you will.
You just got to pregame early.
There you go. There you go. Stephen Pardo, Lisa Byington with you. A 1-point edge, Marquette and Creighton. The second game on FS1, you watch Xavier beat Georgetown in the first game, 102-89. These two teams looking for their first conference win here tonight. Creighton with that points in the paint advantage. Iguodaro trying to back down the freshman, and that hook shot, it looks like he could go to it all night long.
And also understands that he's not going to get double teamed, so he can crab dribble, bang king, and get to his sweet spot anytime he wants.
With no Ryan Kalkbrenner, that is a matchup that Greg McDermott told us in the shoot-around that he was concerned about. And Prosper nearly had a steal and a turnover. 3-point edge here for Marquette. There's your turnover. Kolek on the break to Prosper. Wow. Tough 2 to make.
Great example of how long Omax is. You know, he's 6'8", but man, he looks a lot taller, especially in those situations, getting to the rim.
Olivier, yeah, there's an offensive foul call. And Trey Alexander's first.
Well, you see the cross-court pass. Marquette was watching, was thinking about this in shoot-around, and great job of getting out on the fast break. Marquette gets 20 points a game in the fast break situation. I think that's top 5 in the country. They do a really good job once they can get a turnover and get downhill.
They forced Creighton into 6 turnovers already here in this first half, including back-to-back possessions. An offensive foul counting as a turnover. Prosper gets turned away, gives it back to Stevie Mitchell. Iguodaro with his 6 points, make it 8, low and baseline for the jam.
Oh, man. I think Kaluma thought he was there, but then he wasn't. Nice hesitation move by Iguodaro.
Mason Miller getting his first minutes here in this first half for Creighton. Hand off here to Nembhard. Alley-oop look, a little bit off the mark for Kaluma, couldn't handle. A 15-2 Marquette run, look out! Right down the lane, and 5-serve form, liking that. Forcing a Greg McDermott timeout.
You know, historically, Creighton, Lisa, is known as a fast-paced team. But this Marquette team, look at Iguodaro with the now you see me, now you don't. And then great job of running the floor. Kolek with the beautiful feed. And Oso has been oh so good here in the first half.
Wait, say that again. How about some oh so good improvement?
Oh my goodness. He has really jumped up in his production across the board. And there's a topic on there that we didn't discuss. His communication and leadership have jumped as much as his on-court production.
Already in double figures, he's got 10 points to go with his 2 rebounds. Mentioned that he had a double-double coming off of that at Notre Dame. A career high, by the way, 18 rebounds. We've seen what he can do offensively here tonight, but then to couple that with rebounding capability.
Yeah, so Iguodaro, long, athletic, call him like a pogo stick type of guy. And, you know, he reads the angles well on missed shots. He's just a total player. He affects every aspect of the game. Now you see the extended defense by the Golden Eagles. They're starting to deny first pass, trying to throw this offense, give a little wrinkle to the Blue Jays.
Shireman has a little bit of size advantage. And that'll be the first on Sean Jones.
I like that call. Jones is trying to stay low, but he's got two hands on Shireman. That's an easy call, but I like Jones's willingness, but got to keep your hands off as much as possible.
Second team foul here for Marquette. Lemhard with the kick out to Alexander, who gets a three-point look. Shireman trying to save it, goes right into the cheerleaders in the front row there courtside.
Shireman had the presence of mind to apologize to the cheerleaders and get back in the game.
And Prosper walked with it.
No, Max doesn't agree with the call, but Mike Roberts is one of the finest officials we have in the game. And he was right there on the spot. And you see Shireman trying to save it, goes into the cheerleaders, and then he'll get up and he'll apologize, but still get back into play. That's effort right there, Lisa. And chivalry, maybe? Would that be considered chivalrous?
Or politeness.
Politeness, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cross-court pass. And Shireman. Marquette worked on that, trying to shut down the cross-court pass at shoot-around here today. Pump fake. Under control, Kaluma with the shot clock winding down. Had to put it up.
That's a hard three to hit. When you're moved off a catch-and-shoot look, and then you take a short dribble to try to gather yourself. That's a very difficult three to hit.
And you see the three-point shooting numbers. Creighton struggling. 22% here in this first half. Throwing it up. Gets the and one for Sean Jones. He's only 5'10", but he plays a lot bigger than that.
Yes, he does. And he got his number called against Francisco Farabello. And he just took Farabello right to the rim. Goes with the offhand off glass. Nice job by the young fella who coach wasn't too happy with his earlier shot, but I think he just made up for it on that play.
Working to take off with 2 feet. And that's something that the coaching staff has worked with him on. Shown him film of Jalen Brunson, Chris Paul, because of his height. How do you get your shot off in the lane amongst the trees? Quick hands there by Cam Jones. Leads to another turnover. Here comes Marquette once again on the push. Jones tried to throw it up to try to convince Tony Chiasa that it was a shooting foul. It'll go against Francisco Farabello. Creighton, meanwhile, scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 6 seconds. It is looking good here for the home team. How about the little man going to work in big man territory? Mike, thank you very much. Marquette has built its largest lead of the game, plus 11, 35-24. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Beinson with you here from Five Serve Forum. It's been defense and the turnover story that has really gotten Marquette back in this game.
Well, they've done a great job of deflections, and Ryan Nembhard has 3 turnovers because he's trying to make the pass, but the active hands defensively of the Golden Eagles have been a problem. And on the other side, great fast-breaking team, Marquette, taking advantage of those turnovers.
Yeah, 8 turnovers. You mentioned Nembhard. He's got 3 turnovers, which is really unlike him. 73 assists to 19 turnovers in the last 12 games coming into tonight. Now, you go back even to last year to get those stats, but normally the point guard here for Creighton that is taking care of the basketball awfully well. Yeah,
Marquette has a way of heating opponents up, just getting in them defensively, active hands. They play very good help defense as well.
Saw them do it against Baylor. They won by 26. At Notre Dame, they won by 15. Beat Georgia Tech. Some of those teams out of their rhythm. There's Nembhard. When you talk about out of rhythm, when he airballs a shot like that, you know that he's not dialed in here in this first half.
Great point. Just the frenetic pace of Marquette can really keep you off balance if you're not ready for it.
Prosper over to Sean Jones, who stays in this game here for the Golden Eagles. Coming off the bench, trying to find something. He turns it over. Shireman tries to keep possession of it. It'll be a jump ball. It'll be Creighton basketball. A little hustle between these two teams in the Big East opener.
Yeah, Jones got a little too deep on the penetration, and first one to the floor comes up with a rock, and all these guys understand that being in this conference.
Putting the first half in perspective, remember these two teams traded baskets early. Creighton had that 6-0 run to take a 6-point advantage, and Marquette has had a 19-2 run since to take control of this game, leading by double figures. How about another King flush?
Boy, Greg McDermott pulled that one out of his playbook. Great setup to get King point blank on the pin down.
And Prosper lays it up and in.
Oh, Max, I'm telling you, when he gets downhill, if you don't have two people in front of him, he's so long he can figure out how to finish.
It's another turnover here for Creighton.
And Tyler is so confident with the rock.
Kolek lays it up with the left hand. He's already got 5 assists here, by the way, in this first half. And Creighton feeding Alexander. They get the one shot and done. And the three-point story has not been their success. 20% shooting here throughout this first half, Stephen.
And you know what? It's interesting because Creighton, I think, you know, you don't want to. I'm a guy where I'm like, oh, these guys can't be tired. Well, when you got San Diego State, Arizona State, BYU, Texas, all in a row, then you go on the road at Marquette. The level of competition that this Creighton team has played over the last month, one game at home against Nebraska in which they were beaten at home. This is, I think this team is a little tired. I'm not making any excuses, but this is a gauntlet of a schedule for them.
They're tired. They haven't been 100% healthy with the third straight game without Ryan Kalkbrenner, their leading scorer, shot blocker. Greg McDermott said coming back from that Maui tournament, their whole team was sick, that they had to recover from that. And Kalkbrenner, out with a non-COVID illness, still has not really recovered. There's a reach-in foul, and the first on Kolek.
At least I remember when we went at University of Illinois, went to Hawaii for a tournament. It takes you 2 weeks to come back from that, even when you're healthy. And they got sick going out to Hawaii trying to come back. So it really takes a lot out of it.
A minute and some change left here in this first half. Still out to Shireman. That tight coverage there. Barely giving Shireman a window. Wow. Fading away, headed towards the sideline, and he hits nothing but net.
Sharif Mitchell, that's not a foul McDermott wanted in that scenario. And Shireman, there wasn't much left here in the shot clock. He had to make something happen. A little step back creates enough space over Joplin.
And arguably the highest impact newcomer by Creighton here this year. Flips it up here for Joplin. He's got a couple three-point makes. That's his first two-point make of the night, and he's in double figures with 10.
For the patience of the Golden Eagles, when they get one-on-one, they're taking their time to getting point-blank range. Creighton's going to have to make an adjustment.
You know, that was an easier shot for Shireman to try to knock down, and Baylor Shireman couldn't get that one to go. His Big East debut tonight, the transfer out of South Dakota State.
I think also Iguodala is going to get his number called here.
Shot clock still in play. The We Are Marquette chance had started here at 5, serving a reach-in foul. 2 shots coming.
That looked pretty clean from my vantage point. I thought Shireman thought that was clean. Oh, well, that's why I'm a commentator, not an official. Because he got all hand. That's a good call.
It's the first on Shireman. Mike Roberts, Tony Tiazza, Doug Schaus. Seeing that one properly real time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good trio we have here tonight. And they're letting them play.
Also, Iguodala, he pondered transferring. Steve Wojciechowski leaving the program. And Shaka Smart, a new coach coming in. He barely played his freshman year, was a backup center really his sophomore year, and has taken it to new levels his junior season.
He really has, and he's embraced his role in terms of touching every part of the game.
Alexander takes it inside and just beats the buzzer. A much-needed bucket here for Creighton to try to build any sort of momentum any way that the Blue Jays can.
Yeah, nice drive there by Alexander over the outstretched hand. It looked like Omax Prosper got that down. That might give Creighton a little bit of momentum coming back in the second half.
Marquette with a 9-point edge. Greg McDermott and Creighton looking to snap a 5-game losing skid. Marquette looking to keep momentum. It's the Big East opener between the Blue Jays and the Golden Eagles. Is living large. He averages about 11 points per game, and he's at that mark here at halftime. His team, Marquette, leading Creighton by 9. Stephen Bardo and Lisa Byington with you with 2 games here on FS1, and it's the Big East opener. We have seen Marquette find success defensively. It's the Shaka Smart way, right? And they have created, again, havoc, if you will, here in the first half against Creighton.
They've done a great job, Lisa, and Shaka told us in shoot-around that his team is better offensively than defensively, but in the first half, it seemed flipped because they forced Creighton into 9 turnovers. Usually a very sure-handed Ryan Nembhard has 3 turnovers already, so the defense of Marquette has been very good.
And it helped to flip this game, too. In our first half stat sponsored by Jeep, there's only 1. You know, they were trailing by as many as 6 in the first half, and those points off the turnovers, you see the 9 turnovers that you referenced, Stephen, the 11 points off, and it's given them a 9-point halftime edge. Ben's points have been important as well. Joplin leading the way, the 10 of the 15 off the bench here for Marquette. And you see Iguodaro's numbers. I mentioned he's right at his average in terms of scoring. Only missed a couple of shots and 4 rebounds here so far.
Well, he's taking really high percentage looks, and he knows that he's not going to get double teamed on the crab dribble into the post, so he's just getting to his spot and then elevating over the top.
Marquette's been pretty good at protecting leads. 8-1 when leading at halftime. And Creighton, if they could pull it out, it'd be their first comeback win when trailing at halftime here this season. Again, the Big East opener. 19 December games in the Big East Showdown. 4 more in this month than last year. And a couple of all Big East showdowns tomorrow, Saturday night. So conference season definitely opening up. First possession in the first. Let Kolek drains the 3-point shot.
Oh, wow. Shaka Smart and Tyler Kolek, they must have had a conversation at the halftime break because Shaka pointed to him. I said, I told you so.
He's a guy who's shooting 41% from 3, considerably improved from the 28% he was shooting from 3 last year. Worked on his shot, his hand placement in the offseason, and it has paid dividends. Catch and shoot, Kaluma gives it up to King. He's got 5 dunks in this game.
He's done a fantastic job of taking advantage of this opportunity. And this is going to bode well for Creighton once Ryan Kalkbrenner comes back.
10 points for King, 5 for 5, all 5 dunks, flipping it up, and the tip-in, that won't count it as a dunk, but 12 points now for the freshman.
Yeah, the freshman's getting it done from the Bahamas. I asked him about, can he cook the conch? The conch fritters and all that.
Yeah, you had that conversation with him.
Yeah, and his eyes lit up, so.
He said he can make a curry version, a battered version. How about a dunk version?
Doing a great job here, living at the rim. Advantageous on that block there. Knows what to do on the finish, and then he finishes up Nembhard's miss. Big fella doing quite well in Kalkbrenner's absence.
Exactly, a little bit of the momentum that Creighton needs here to begin the second half. Prosper with the turnaround. Olivier Maxence Prosper in double figures and only missed 1 shot here so far tonight. King Jr. with the back down. Thought about maybe doing a hook shot, gives it back up. And again, no Ryan Kalkbrenner. Out with a non-COVID illness here for Creighton. It's the 3rd straight game that the Blue Jays have to play without him.
And it's tough when you take the leading scorer, Big East Defensive Player of the Year off your team. It's tough to compete at this level.
Nembhard, you're not supposed to get those kind of rolls on the road. Nembhard touched every single part of the rim here at 5-serve forum.
Look how low Marquette is initiating their offense. So if you're inside the three-point line, you only need 2 dribbles to get to your spot.
We've seen that hook shot. Iguodaro, 13 points now, his first points of the second half. It's almost like how do you try to stop that if you're Frederick King?
Yeah, you build a wall, you stay tall, and hopefully you force a miss.
With a little look-see what I found bucket.
I mean, he has really been the offense here to start the second half for Creighton.
Hasn't missed a shot, 7 for 7, 14 points. His next bucket would tie his career high, which he set in the last game against Arizona State with 16.
Marquette doing a fantastic job getting back defensively.
Shireman can't hit from the corner. He's hit 2 of the 3-point makes for Creighton in the first half. But empty-handed on that attempt and short there for Stevie Mitchell.
Wow. Defensive breakdown getting back by Creighton that time. Alexander had 2 guys he was trying to guard. See right there, he's got Mitchell and Kolek.
And that's a 3-pointer, so he's got 3 free throws here coming up. And it's the 3rd personal foul, by the way, on Trey Alexander.
That's a tough break for Creighton. We talked about their lack of depth.
When you think about this sophomore class, I mean, a lot of key sophomores really for both of these teams on the floor here tonight, but in particular with Creighton, Trey Alexander, Arthur Kaluma, Ryan Nembhard, and in particular, those guys have been out of rhythm, and now Alexander's going to have to take a seat with the 3 personal fouls. Ben Stoltzberg will check in. This is our first minutes that he'll see in this game. He gets some playing time against BYU over in Las Vegas, where Creighton picked up a couple of games.
You're talking about a team on a 5-game losing streak. Was once number 7 in the country. Take away your leading scorer, one of the best defenders in college basketball, and then you play a gauntlet of a schedule. This is where Creighton finds themselves. Like in their 5-game losing streak, Lisa, they have been in every single game, and I expect them to get right back into this one.
Stevie Mitchell picks up the personal. There's Kalkbrenner again sitting on the sideline. They hope to get him back soon. Now the timeline is they hope is short. Still has not been officially set when his return will be. Out again with a non-COVID illness. Missed the 2 games in Las Vegas and missing the Big East opener again here tonight. And has looked, Creighton as part of the reason why Creighton has looked like such a different basketball team in this 5-game losing skid. Shireman out to Nembhard. A wide open look, won't get it that time, and another rebound for Iguodaro. Quick outlet pass there to Mitchell. Cam Jones, only 3 points here tonight, make it 5 after the high lofting shot. He goes glass.
Cam Jones does that as well as any guard in the Big East. Can get inside the paint, can nullify shot blockers with that high runner off glass.
Leads the team in scoring, 7th in the Big East in scoring coming into tonight. Tried to get it to King, but another turnover. Double-digit turnovers for Creighton here in this game. Iguodaro turned away, over to Mitchell. Kolek feeding the corner. Jones with the triple try, pops out. Another opportunity, though, for Marquette.
Also got his hands on that. Couldn't corral it himself, but gave his teammate a chance.
Oh, wow! Circus shot, and Cam Jones gets the reverse to fall. Everything going the Golden Eagles' way. Kaluma with the answer.
I think this second half is going to look a lot like this, Lisa. Back and forth action.
8 points now for Arthur Kaluma.
Both teams really want to push when given the opportunity.
Cross-court pass. Kolek sets. Largest lead for Marquette has been 14. Deficit right now sits at 12 here for Creighton. And it's Stevie Mitchell picking up the personal. Cam Jones, how about the Big East Player of the Week? Some showtime.
This is beautiful right here. High off the glass, nullifying the shot blocker. And then on the other side, now you see me, now you don't. I'm on the other side of the bucket with the smooth finish.
Big East Conference lost a great contributor to the sport today. Louis Orr passing at the age of 64 years old. A coach, a player, his number retired. Number 55 retired by Syracuse. All Big East first team honoree, played 8 years in the NBA. And Stephen Bardo, you and I found out about the news at shoot-around and were shocked by it.
Very much so. Not a lot of people knew that he was sick, and you know, it's unfortunate when you see a man of this stature. When you talk to Greg McDermott and Shaka Smart in shoot-around today, their hearts were heavy, and Shaka Smart said it best. If someone said something negative about Louis Orr, you looked at that person sideways, because there's not a person with higher character than Louis Orr was and what he meant to this game. He will be missed.
Yeah, both head coaches, well said, touched by the news. The basketball world, of course, the Big East Conference. Not only did he play at Syracuse, but a head coach at Bowling Green and Seton Hall, an assistant, Xavier, Providence, Syracuse, and of course, under Patrick Ewing at Georgetown most recently.
Yeah, just a gracious man. It's always fun whenever I see him covering Georgetown, or like you said, when he was at Seton Hall. Wonderful man.
A carrying call on Francisco Farabello coming out of that timeout. Well, a somewhat even first half played between these both teams and to start the second half. We go back to look at that turnover. I mean, Creighton has found a way to kind of turn it over in a lot of different ways here tonight.
And I think that is the pace and the pressure that Marquette puts on their opposing teams. It just keeps you off balance.
Marquette was looking for some more points in the paint. Creighton, meanwhile, all 10 of their points in the second half, including that one coming in points in the paint, as Kaluma gets the left-handed layup.
That was a beautiful find by Ryan Nembhard. On the move, caught Kaluma in stride. Nice finish.
Scoring-wise, it's been pretty even here to begin with between these two teams, but it's a 10-point advantage here for Marquette. Iguodaro slipping the pass, going backdoor to the Jones. That was beautiful. Joplin with his 10 points off the bench in the first half. It'll stay here. Golden Eagles from the baseline.
Boy, you described Iguodaro's pass beautifully. That was something. I think it even surprised Cam Jones that it got through the traffic there. And to me, Iguodaro needs to be on somebody's NBA radar. He's got to smooth out that jump shot, but everything else is elite level.
Well, we were told there was a decent amount, a heavy dose of some NBA scouts in the building tonight. Checking out prospects here for both of these teams. Hard foul against Kaluma. Call that a shooting foul. And it goes against Sean Jones. That's his second.
Yeah, Kaluma going to the hole hard and getting the foul there, but rare opportunity at the line for Creighton.
With Ryan Kalkbrenner out, Arthur Kaluma, as he's doing right now, they play a little bit more small ball. They use him at the 5 position sometimes. The second leading scorer. A preseason second team all Big East pick. As you addressed it earlier, it's defensively here as Creighton goes on defense. It's that 5 position that works as the big communication spot for the Blue Jays defense that they miss, in particular with Kalkbrenner, and the turnaround falls for Sean Jones.
Well, that's why Marquette has decided to live in the paint here this evening. Without the elite shot blocking experience of Kalkbrenner, things are a lot easier at the rim for Marquette.
Kaluma with the ball. He's got the last 6 points here for Creighton. Xander Yates with an appearance here for the Blue Jays off the bench for the first time. Farabello, pump fake, gives it up. And Yates loses it. 12 turnovers now for Creighton.
Yeah, Yates is trying to adjust to this pace. A little bit too quick for him right now.
A guy who's only played in 4 games here this year. So Greg McDermott going deep into his bench here in the second half, trying to find any sort of combination that'll work Shireman. A one-person break for him. He had that size advantage against Sean Jones, and he's got 12 points in the game.
And that's a tough finish. He's going right. Finishes with his left. Off glass, going away from the bucket.
Another turnover, so maybe Creighton's working on something. Nembhard with a transition look. Made it tough that time. Ben Gold challenging.
Nice job by Gold on the challenge without fouling. Oh, what a move.
Kolek with the spin move. Can't get the finish. And a deflection from Gold. Pump fake, walks with it. So they've gotten Farabello with the carry and now with a walking violation.
Well, you see Creighton fighting their way back, but they're Shireman going to the hole, getting all the way to the rim. Creighton hanging around.
Sometimes go in the huddle and show you the coach's conversation with the team. How about a player-coach kind of conversation in Marquette's huddle?
We gotta play our basketball. We trying to do too much. Trust each other, offense and defense. Sprint back and get matched up. That's the only time they score. Run back.
Lisa, I love that. That's why the best teams don't have to hear their coach talk constantly, because if you got to hear Shaka Smart talk all the time, you start to tune him out. Oso Ighodaro is showing you that when his playing days are over, he could definitely be a coach. Great leadership in that huddle.
A junior here on this team. Putting up the numbers and being one of the vocal leaders here in the second half for Marquette. And Jones walked with it. 6 turnovers for Marquette.
One of the few mistakes we've seen Jones commit tonight. He's just in a really good flow with his game right now. Letting the game come to him and being that dynamic, creative scorer.
Hard will reset here for Creighton. Kaluma tried the crossover, loses it. Here's Stevie Mitchell, who takes it with a thunderous one-handed hammer.
Ooh, Stevie Mitchell. I think he caught his teammates off guard. Look at Cam Jones. Loving it right now.
Got the whole bench up. Normally a defensive guy, but that defense leading to one of the highlights here of the night.
Boy, Creighton just looks like they are so disjointed in this particular possession. Somebody's got to make a play.
Kaluma was asking for the lob there on the post. It's going to be a shot clock violation. 15 turnovers here for Creighton.
Sharif Mitchell's got to shoot that basketball in that situation. Take a look. Prosper got the soccer foot out, forcing a turnover. Stevie Mitchell, acting like he's back in Pennsylvania in high school, going up off the steal.
Started each game this year. First career start, Radford on November 7th. And a turnover back the other way.
But Creighton's got to find some offensive fluidity here.
How do they do that?
I think you've got to go to Kaluma or Shireman. You got to get them in space, so wherever their sweet spot is, you got to give them the ability to make a play like this.
Yeah, Shireman gets the touch. He kicks it out to Kaluma, so those two combining. Rims out, offensive rebound for King, who puts it up. And a traveling call. So 16 turnovers for Creighton. Their season high is 17 against Arkansas.
Yes, this Golden Eagles defense is different from years past with Shaka Smart's teams, especially with VCU, where they would just pressure 94 feet. They're very selective in how they do it here, but in the half court, Golden Eagles are really good, especially on the help defense.
Shaka has made defense fun. He has made this team, in particular this year, want to play defense. And trying to go baseline, it is King who picks up the foul, defending Iguodaro. That's his first. Shaka Smart, I thought it was interesting. He said to us, in particular, the sophomore class, right? I mean, there's all different kinds of pieces, but some key pieces, Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, being a part of that sophomore class. He felt like that was the most together class that he has coached. And Iguodaro, again, trying another foul.
Yeah, I was surprised by that, Lisa. Shaka Smart in his 14th season as a head coach said that was the closest class that he's ever coached. I thought that was high praise, and it says something about the success of this Marquette team.
And you couple that with a guy like Iguodaro, who's a junior, and guys like Kolek, who's a junior, and guys who want to play, who want to win, who want to play the Shaka Smart way.
I love their unselfishness. I mean, one play in particular in the first half, Cam Jones did a spin move and gets to the lane. I thought he was going to try a difficult shot. He looks to the corner and sees Joplin for an open three. That kind of exemplifies what Marquette has been this season.
Now, Creighton had a lane violation, so Iguodaro will get another chance at it.
Iguodaro's got a little hitch in his giddy-up on that release. He's got a little, I think it messed up Creighton there for a second.
Let's kind of pause a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Can't make good on another opportunity. 11-point advantage, though, still for the Golden Eagles. Again, largest lead has been 14 at one point in the second half. Shireman in two-point territory with the step back, leaves it short. Mitchell with the rebound, gives it to Kolek. And Jones trying to lean in. The shot, the foul before the shot. And a blocking foul, the foul going against Nembhard, his first.
Marquette sets are really good at getting Cam the basketball on these banana cuts in the key area to where he can catch and keep going to his strong hand. So I like the offensive sets that he's been receiving here in the second half. Strong hand, his left hand. Yes.
Which isn't the case for most people. It's the 5 team fouls now for Creighton. And you look at the field goals, both teams have hit 7 this half. A kicking violation. The shot clock will reset here to 20. Marquette has come into tonight winning 5 of its last 6. Impressive wins against Baylor and Notre Dame. An overtime loss to Wisconsin. Iguodaro again just muscling his way in. 16 points he's had his way in the paint.
Loved what Oso did that time. He got himself gathered, Lisa. He dropped his center of gravity, knew there was going to be contact, and powered through on the finish.
Midway through here the second half, and Creighton is running out of time. King looking for the back down. Has to give it back up to Alexander. Now 8 to shoot. And Jones tips it from behind. He gets it right back. Cam Jones challenging, flips it up. What's the body control and the acrobatics by Cam Jones tonight?
Boy, and the concentration at the 10. Boy, that was really nice.
Marquette on a 7-0 run. And Jones just a point off of another double-figure scoring game. It's Prosper with the push.
Cam Jones, one of the more creative scorers. That's the 3rd time tonight that he's caused a turnover with that back tap. And then look at that concentration. Shireman bumps him, doesn't matter. Goes off glass. Cam Jones continuing to play like the Big East Player of the Week.
Creighton and Greg Dermott have called the timeout. They got 2 remaining here this evening. Marquette students students finished their finals, and they're in the holiday mood, you can tell. Join Fox Sports and nonprofit partner Sports Biz Camps in giving the gift of opportunity this holiday season by providing underrepresented students access to fulfilling careers in the sports industry. Visit sportsbizcamps.com to learn more. The finals, like I said, wrapping up on campus. Fiserv Forum, just under a mile away from Marquette's campus here in Milwaukee. They are fired up because their Marquette team is winning. And the story of the night, the reason why they're winning right now and leading Creighton, turnovers big and depth has been big for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they've definitely taken advantage of their deeper roster and their excellent defensive pressure caused a number of turnovers for this usually sure-handed Creighton team. And Mitchell take off. Nice flush.
I can't stress enough, though, the depth just right now not there for Creighton. No bench points. Playing again without Ryan Kalkbrenner, their leading scorer, second leading rebounder, leading shot blocker, out with a non-COVID illness for the third straight game. We've got our under 8 media timeout. 62-47. We'll be back to Milwaukee. Polls and the AP rankings is the highest ranking you see there since the 08-09 season. And look at the average margin of victory. They are dominating teams here so far.
Well, I tell you what, to me, they look like the best team in the country. And Adama Sanogo is the preseason player of the year, but the freshman, big fella Donovan Clingan, has been a revelation for UConn. So they're deep, they're aggressive, they can score. I haven't seen any weaknesses on that Husky squad.
Yeah, that's strong. Marquette coming into tonight an 8-3 overall record. We mentioned Creighton had won the first 6. They've lost the last 5. Xavier's much improved. You expect Villanova getting healthier. They could be contenders possibly. It always seems they're there, right, in January and February.
Yeah, they had some key losses early.
Prosper brought the house down with that dunk.
That's bitter beer face material right there. I mean, he caught a couple bodies at the rim.
Marquette on a 9-0 run. Talk about a statement.
Ooh. He was anything but proper. He was Omax, stretching out at the rim. Go get it, Longfellow. I see you.
Not proper for Prosper?
No.
I love it.
He wasn't proper on that one.
Creighton, meanwhile, on a 5-minute and counting scoring drought, just sitting on 47 points as Marquette just continuing to punish. Well, that was a tough shot. Cam Jones, so good on that spin move. You had mentioned it. Saw another one similar in the first half. That's his move. Shireman, his 7th double-double of the season. Team lead for that, and he continues with his 14 points and 10 rebounds here for Creighton. He's been a bright spot.
He really has, and just been aggressive on the glass, which is desperately needed. And he's trying to keep these guys within striking distance.
Jones goes back door. We've seen him make one of those already tonight. Couldn't convert on that one. Nemhard penetrates, kicks it out to Shireman. You'd have to think maybe Creighton has to go Shireman's way. And the one guy who's been consistent offense for them here tonight. And a little bump on the penetration.
I think
Prosper has picked up his second.
I think Arthur Kaluma is another one that just they got to make something happen here. Can't keep trading baskets with Marquette if they want to cut this deficit.
5 team fouls for both Marquette and Creighton now.
And the thing that why we keep mentioning the absence of Kalkbrenner for Creighton is that he leads the country in field goal percentage makes. He's shooting almost 80% from the field. You got a 7-footer at the rim that averages 15 points a game. He takes a lot of pressure off your offense.
So much impact offensively and defensively. Iguodaro gets blocked that time by King. Meanwhile, Frederick King is logging some important minutes that maybe he can build on with Kalkbrenner out.
I definitely agree. And come later on this season, Kalkbrenner wanted to play so many minutes.
Alley-oop, nicely done. Nemhard finding King. 4th assist for Nembhard. And King continues. He hasn't missed a shot. Tied his career high. Gone back-to-back games now. 16 points against Arizona State. And King's second double-double of the season so far. Going back-to-back. You get the points where you can get them, right?
That's right. And King does a great job on the defensive end. Watch him stay vertical on Iguodaro. Comes up with the block and keeps it in bounds. And then on the pick and roll action with Nembhard, able to get the easy flush. Big fella got a lot of upside.
He does. He struggled in his first start against BYU and then came off that double-double against Arizona State, only to match it with another double-double here tonight against Marquette. Hasn't missed a shot. Now, granted, it's been in and around the rim, right?
Yep.
I've lost count at how many dunks, but you see 8 for 8 from the field. 16 points, 10 rebounds. You know, he wears that number 33. He's the first Blue Jay to wear it since Bob Portman did it in the 60s. And it was Greg McDermott who had to reach out in the offseason to ask for permission to allow that to happen. Significant to mention that tonight because it's on the anniversary tonight, 55 years ago, when Bob Portman scored 51 points against Milwaukee. So in the same city, but different team, and it still stands as a school record.
No, something you had to be to hit 50-something points without a three-point shot.
Oh, gosh, I know, right? I think about that all the time with some of the great scorers. Played this game before the three-pointer was in play.
Dominant. A nice gesture to allow King to get that number.
They take away the dribble handoff. Marquette has done that defensively, it seems. Nembhard from the corner.
Watch Joplin on the three.
He's calling for it. And works it around to Prosper. Over to Chase Ross. Getting some time in these late minutes here in this game. Still some time to work with. 12 to shoot. Ross takes it all the way inside for his first two.
Nice job by Ross. Up fake on the fake jump shot. Gets his defender off balance. Goes all the way to the bucket.
First two from the field. 4 points here in the game. Had the couple of free throws. And the bench now 21-0 advantage against Creighton's bench tonight.
And that's Creighton banged up. They don't have a lot of depth to begin with when they're totally healthy. So a team like Marquette likes to take advantage of that.
Prosper draws the foul on Kaluma. That is number 3 on Kaluma. Bench guys coming to play, Stephen Bardo.
Well, you're talking about the up fake, the nice drive. Chase Ross. Nice finish at the rim.
17-point advantage is the largest lead of the game. Marquette and Creighton. Stephen Bardo, Lisa Byington with you. Defense turning Creighton over has still been the story of the game here for Marquette.
It really has, and I think that Shaka Smart will credit his team's defense, which he said is not quite at the level of their offense yet. But boy, I tell you, if their defense is going to get much better than this, they're going to give the rest of the Big East fits night in and night out.
Season high 18 turnovers for Creighton, and you look what not only what they've done with the 18 turnovers, but doing it, the steals, the deflections is always a big stat for Marquette. Their goal every single game is to get at least 32 deflections, and you see that sign in the timeout that one of the support staff members will hold up. Why that's significant? I mean, there's a lot of analytics to get into the number 32, but you know they have won when they have reached that mark all but one time, and that was the Notre Dame game where they won the game against Notre Dame, but it's the only win that they've had where they haven't reached at least 32 deflections in a game.
Yeah, and even in that Notre Dame game, they were dominant down the stretch at Notre Dame, and you know they are just so disruptive. They anticipate passing angles very well. They help each other defensively. And, you know, they don't really have a shot blocker outside of Iguodaro because they don't need to. They're so good defensively on the perimeter. It's tough to get past that level.
Sidestep move. Stolzberg can't knock it down. And again, another one-and-done possession here for Creighton. Hard to generate some second-chance opportunities for them. They're shooting 16% from three-point territory in the game. 3 of 19. They haven't hit a three-point shot in the second half.
That three-point shot is generally a great equalizer if it's going. But boy, if it's not, the offense becomes really stagnant.
Normally for a Creighton team like Marquette, tied for third in terms of three-pointers made, normally get about 9 per game. Getting a tough challenge there at the rim.
This Big East is going to be something. It is every year, but I'm going to say it. I still think UConn's the best team in the country right now. And don't sleep on Villanova. Once they get healthy, they'll be right there in the mix as well.
And we've got like a hockey line coming in here for Creighton. 4 guys subbing in, as Ben Gold will sub in here for Marquette. And those starters now taking a seat here for Creighton. A tough stretch here for the Blue Jays. Coming into tonight, lost 5 straight. You've talked about the fact that you haven't had a whole lot of time at home within the last month. Going to Maui, playing in Vegas for a couple of games. Losing one of their best players, but still there's a lot of talent on this roster to try to step up here for the Blue Jays. They got to find some answers. They're home to Butler coming up next, and then a Christmas Day game against DePaul after that.
Oh, good no call that time.
Yeah, Ben Gold getting the block, gives it out to Jones. And so reserves here on both of these sides. Here's Joplin, spin move.
Tell you what, Marquette, a lot of their players, they like that spin cycle, don't they? Cam Jones is probably the best at it. We've seen Iguodaro use it. Joplin just used it. Number of guys playing on 2 feet in that paint.
Season lows for Creighton. How about 53 points? They're flirting with that. Threes made. 4 threes is their season low. They are threatening that as well. And Yates can't even get the bunny. Taken away out to Mitchell for the lay-in.
Boy, Mitchell upset one of the and one opportunity.
And so a timeout called. There'll be a substitution timeout. And Marquette rotating some players here. Our Old Trapper smoking player of the game on the Marquette side. Oso Iguodaro really set the tone early and was consistent here throughout. Picks up 16 points and 6 rebounds here tonight. And we saw him sitting in the head coach's chair and leading the way in the huddle as well.
Yeah, no, he is definitely one of the leaders of this team. A highly efficient player on the offensive end. And we know what he can do defensively. So it's an outstanding effort by him tonight. Golden Eagles team is building some great confidence as they turn the calendar after Christmas and get heavy into Big East play.
And Shaka Smart sitting on 299 career wins. Will get his 300th career win tonight. Farabello knocks down the 3. It's the first 3-point make. It comes with about 30 seconds to go here in the second half. The first 3-point make of the second half. We asked Shaka Smart if he remembers his first win. He said, yep, totally. You know, VCU 2009, Bethune-Cookman. But I remember my first loss immediately after that game, even more than my first win, and that was to Western Michigan. And the take, Mitchell gets the and one. But isn't that like a classic head coach's response? I do remember my first win, but I remember my first loss even more.
Yeah, it seems as though in college basketball, the coaches are relieved on a win. And really just, it eats at them with a loss. And so, he was very gracious with his time and going into great detail about that.
And then he continued the story. He lost to Western Michigan, and then his team rebounded to beat Oklahoma. And he was devastated after that loss. His wife told him to get up, start your day, get moving, get over it. And he listened to his wife.
Smart man.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And that went from win 1 to loss number 1 down to win number 300 for Shaka Smart. And a 69-58 final.
A dominating performance against Marquette. For Marquette at home, holding court at home.
Marquette improving to 9-3, picking up their first win in the Big East, and Creighton now has lost 6 straight, falling to 500 on the season. For Stephen Bardo, I'm Lisa Byington. We send it to Mike Hill in our studio.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome to